To the medieval mind, a violent thunderstorm was an airborne raid carried out by witches and sky demons hiding in the clouds. To fight back, the church relied on a specific countermeasure. Across Europe, thousands of heavy bronze bells were cast with the Latin inscription fulgura frango, meaning, "I break the lightning." The moment the sky turned dark and the wind picked up, the local bell ringer would sprint to the church doors. Their duty was to climb the tower and ring that heavy bronze until the weather broke. But official French records from the late 18th century show the price of this belief. In just a 33-year period, 386 church towers were struck by lightning, and 103 bell ringers were tragically killed. Their spiritual protection had become an unintended slaughterhouse. This defense system was rooted in the ritual of the church. Before a bell was hung, priests would wash it with holy water and anoint it with oils, performing a baptism intended to give the cold metal its own living soul. They believed the acoustic vibrations of a consecrated bell could physically cut through the air, creating a shield of sound that would drive back the entities lurking in the storm. This meant that as a storm grew more intense and the danger increased, terrified villagers demanded the bell be rung even harder. The ringer was forced to remain in the belfry during the most violent peak of the tempest. In reality, a lightning bolt is a massive electrical discharge searching for the most direct path from the sky into the ground. To find that ground, the charge looks for the highest geographical point available. In almost every medieval town, the tallest structure for miles was the sharp stone spire of the church. Sitting at the exact apex of that stone antenna was the bell, thousands of pounds of highly conductive bronze. Attached to that bronze was a thick hemp rope hanging down the center of the tower. During a storm, heavy rain poured through the open belfry windows and soaked the rope completely. At the very bottom, gripping the soaked fibers with bare hands, the ringer became the final connection to the earth. The village had unknowingly built a flawless electrical circuit. When a strike hit, up to 300 million volts traveled from the clouds, through the bell, down the wet rope, and directly through the bell ringer. When the ringer was killed, the surviving villagers didn't blame the metal or the height of the tower. They believed the demons were simply stronger than the holy sound. Their response was to send a second man up to grab the rope and ring even louder. Relief only arrived during the Enlightenment, when Benjamin Franklin's kite experiment proved that lightning was a natural electrical force rather than a divine judgment. Franklin designed the lightning rod to provide a safer route. By placing a pointed iron stake on a roof and running a wire into the dirt, the structure could capture a strike and route the electricity into the ground without touching the building. But the church resisted. Conservative clergy argued that using an iron rod to block the weather was an act of heresy, an attempt to interfere with the will of God using a common piece of metal. That debate ended in 1769 in the Italian city of Brescia. The Republic of Venice was storing 200,000 pounds of military gunpowder in the underground vaults of the Church of San Nazaro. The church had no lightning rod, relying instead on its bells. When a storm hit, lightning struck the tower and traveled straight down into the gunpowder. The explosion leveled a sixth of the city and killed 3,000 people. The scale of the Brescia disaster forced a change in policy. Across Europe, governments passed secular laws that banned storm ringing and legally mandated the installation of copper lightning rods. Today, the towers of Europe feature a quiet architectural compromise, the religious cross sharing the roofline with the scientific copper rod. The bells survived the transition, but they no longer act as weapons. Their purpose evolved from fighting the sky to marking celebrations and the passage of time. Humanity didn't conquer the storm. We simply studied the rules of nature and learned to step out of the way. Knowledge became our lightning rod.